Welcome to TEPSA Talk, the podcast where leaders inspire, share, and grow together. TEPSA is dedicated to celebrating the incredible work happening in education. Each episode, we dive into meaningful conversations with leaders, change-makers, and innovators who are shaping the future of our schools. Whether you're looking for fresh ideas, encouragement, or a little spark to fuel your passion, TEPSA Talk is here for you. Imagine tuning in to hear how leaders are revolutionizing their schools, tackling challenges head-on, and fostering a culture of collaboration. Grab a coffee, hit play, and let's grow together. Welcome to TEPSA Talk.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the TEPSA Talk podcast. I'm your host, Todd Nesloney, the Director of Culture and Strategic Leadership here at the Texas Elementary Principals and Supervisors Association. We are thrilled each week to bring you different leaders from around the world, and today we've got another local fantastic leader here in Texas. Arely, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Hello, I'm Arely Diaz. I am the principal at Willow Vista Early Childhood Academy here in Amarillo, Texas. We are at River Road ISD. It is a 3A district here in Amarillo, so kind of has that small town feel. I have been in education this is my 13th year. Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Right.
I was an assistant principal for 3 years, and then this is my 5th year. I have been lucky enough to serve my principalship in the same campus, and this is my 5th year doing so. Just a little bit about me personally. I'm a mother of 2 incredible boys. I have a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old, so they keep me very busy. We spend a lot of time at the ballpark. My son plays travel ball. But when we're not doing that, we like to be at home, recharging, things like that, traveling when we can. I'm a big foodie, but that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, there's so many off-topic ideas that I could talk about with some of that you just said. But when we have these conversations in this podcast, I kind of love to always start the same way with people, and because I love to hear people's journeys into how they got to where they are today. And so obviously you are working in education, and at some point you were like, either leadership might be for me, or somebody came to you and said, I think leadership's for you. What was your path like to ending up where you are today?
Todd, if you were to ask my former teachers, I don't think anybody would have, not because of the leadership, but because I was such a stinker growing up. And maybe that's why I wanted to be a principal, because I spent so much time,
Right.
kind of spending time with the principal, right? Just a lot of things, reflecting the older I got, and even now as an adult, I look back at little Arely and just kind of the things that I feel like people didn't notice, and why my behaviors were escalated and why I was the way I was. Now, I really wish it took until 5th grade, Miss Hannon, and I still remember her, and the last time I saw her, I just sobbed at Region 16 because I just had so much to tell her now as an adult, right? But it finally took 5th grade counselor for her to just really connect with me. And that was really important to me. And that was a big shift in my life. From then on, I was in a 6-man school, so very, very small town. I literally started kindergarten with the 18 kids and then graduated with them.
Wow.
We were all very close, right? I was pushed to be involved. You really didn't have a choice. It was like you were done with one sport and then come pick up your golf clubs the next, whether you like it or not. And so that kind of kept me active, and it pushed me, and I'm really, really grateful for that. I had a really incredible Spanish teacher, and she, there wasn't a big Hispanic community in McLean. And she really just kind of, I think, shifted me into embracing my culture and being really proud of it. And for the first time ever, I felt seen and connected. And I just kind of watched her, and I thought she was just so cool. And she was an incredible teacher, Miss Hall, Senora Hall. And I kind of was like, I want to be you when I grow up. And that's what I did. I went to school to be a Spanish teacher, not only because I'm passionate about my culture and about my language, but because I loved her and I wanted to be what she was in connecting to students the way she did. So Ultimately, there was a lot of people that kind of helped veer me into this direction. I think as soon as I got into education, I started just really admiring the work of a principal, just watching our assistant principals and our principals. And then they quickly, I think, saw something in me because very quickly they're like, hey, we'd like for you to be an administrative assistant, assigning me tasks, roles, things like that. And I think because I was so good at building relationships, and I didn't have any behavioral issues just because I was able to connect with kids, took care of a lot of the disciplinary things in my classroom. Um, I think that's where I was kind of pushed and I was like, that's what I need to do. And I did. I started it pretty quick and I'm very grateful for that.
Well, I love that you share, though, that your own personal journey as a student has affected who you are today and the work that you do. And I think that brings a really good perspective for you and your role of knowing how to reach those kids who don't always make the best choices or who aren't always in the best spotlight. So I love that that is part of your leadership story because I think that brings such a unique thing to you. And what a powerful thing about that Spanish teacher and
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
and the way she impacted you as well. And I love that you've got to go back and tell her that
yeah,
too. Because
yeah.
I think, sometimes we don't always get that with all the work that we do of people coming back to tell us that we made an impact. But
And thank God for social media. Like I stay connected with them through there. And she's just, she has told me how proud she is of me. And even then, like she's still rooting for me. And I love that. Being a teacher, I don't think ever stops. An educator, like you still have the power to stay connected and to just cheer on all those people that have, you have taught or been a principal to.
now I know something that's also really important to you is obviously as a school administrator, we're investing in our teachers and we're investing in our students that are there on that campus. But something that's really important to you as well is investing in the community and being a part of that. Talk to me a little bit about why that is such a big thing in your heart.
Absolutely. So, since I started teaching, I have taught at Title I schools. And, starting off, I wasn't from here in Amarillo. And when I would tell people where my first job was, they just kind of like, oh gosh, this little 21-year-old is about to, really be in shock. And I wasn't. I think just because I was 21 and young and so excited that I had a job, it didn't matter. But I remember there was so many times my kids were so food driven and I just knew the power of a bag of chips, like how far I could go. And I remember a lot of times too, I would have like food on my desk and stuff. And, kids would ask, hey, do you mind? Can I have your muffin or can I have that? And I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. And finally, one of the kids is like, why do you let us have your stuff? Like, why are you so nice to us? And I'm like, it's just the muffin, right? Or it's the rest of my, whatever. And I quickly saw that things were really different in the place that I was serving. And so I agreed to be the student council sponsor. And from there, I was able to shift into like bigger work. We were doing a lot of snack pack. We were doing United Way and just kind of really seeing our community and really learning where I was placed and who I was serving. And just really realizing that I needed to help our kids in different ways. So, as life would have it, the job that I got and the principalship that I've been in, it is also a Title I school. Our school, the demographic is 80% economically disadvantaged. And so we have a lot of parents that are in need. Um, First and foremost, I think as a principal, it is my job to lead a school where we respect them, regardless of their income, regardless of their living situation. Everyone, I heard it was really powerful the other day. We went to a training and she was talking about how everyone is a person first. And I was like, that's so perfect. That's right. Everyone is a person and deserves to have that respect as a human being, right? And I think that we do such a good job here at Willow Vista of connecting and relating and not making us feel more powerful than the people that we serve here.
Right.
And because of that, I think that they support us, they trust us. We have a really strong connection with our families. And because of that, they are able to open up eventually. When it is time for Thanksgiving, when it is time for Christmas, we already know the families that we need to target, that we need to reach out to. Recently, I think one of the biggest accomplishments that I've had, I partnered with a nonprofit, and her daughter do a lemonade stand. And her and I connected so that she could pay off all of the meal balances for my school. And so just yesterday, as a matter of fact, I was able to reach out to all of these parents. It was 18 families that I was able to reach out to. And
Wow.
I just want to let you know, because I have connected with this nonprofit, you are at a zero balance now. And really, hearing back from some of those families, like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, you have no idea, like that fourth quarter really hit me hard. That end of the year. And it is. I mean, as a mom, I get it. Christmas is hard. Like it's an expensive time of the year. In any way that we can help our families, we're going to do it. We have an incredible family support advocate, and her and I work a lot closely together. And we're like, how can we help these kids? We don't want our kids without shoes. We don't want our kids without jackets. We are constantly watching. I mean, I think that's the power of like lunch duty too, right? You're not just in there to monitor behaviors, like you're in there to like really see like, are you okay? I'm monitoring like how you're eating. Are you licking your butt? Like, what kind of information can that give me so that I can better serve you and your family? So I will tell you that is probably one of my favorite things of being a principal is that it is not limited to education. It is, I have the ability to take care of not only kids, but adults too and their families. And it feels really good. And I really enjoy that.
Can I just say how much I love that that's the way you explained lunch duty? Because I think that's what some administrators forget is it's not another duty. Like there's so many things that you learn by being in that environment. I love that you shared that.
Yes.
So if I'm an administrator listening today and I'm thinking, okay, really, like, yes, like this is speaking to my heart. I get this. But really, like, I'm trying to improve attendance. I'm trying to improve instruction. I'm trying to monitor teachers. I'm trying to do all this that speaks to my heart. But, like, how do I add that to my plate? How do you organize it where you can make time for those things that are all important as a school administrator?
You can bond it all together. Like you mentioned attendance. Um, with that being said, first and foremost, we have to figure out why are you not here? You know what I mean? And maybe there's something bigger to that. A lot of times I will tell you it's not even about we're lacking something. It's we're dealing with younger parents and we are teaching them that the importance of school. And a lot of times people think, oh, it's just pre-K, oh, it's just Head Start, oh, it's just kindergarten. And really teaching my younger parents the importance and the foundation and why I need those kids here and what can I do to help you. And I think with me even pushing and encouraging them, that kind of takes care of one of our issues. A lot of times too, it's really realizing, hey, like I had no idea I had the opportunity for transportation or other things. And maybe it's an alarm clock that they need, whatever it might be. A lot of those things can intertwine, right? Behavioral things. When you are calling those parents, it's not just, it's like, hey, how are you doing? How are you today? And just kind of sandwiching. That's what I do while we're there. It's not just the negative. It's, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. I kind of noticed this is happening. Is everything okay? And it has to be genuine. But for a new administrator, I would say they're going to notice that everything has the ability to kind of blend together. Um, and you can make an impact throughout with just one solid action.
Well, and you also made a really good point there of saying that to the effect of what's obvious to you might not be obvious to the families that you're working with. And I think that that is a really powerful understanding to bring to this position. Is just because you're like, oh my gosh, like kindergarten is so important, or obviously the way you get up in the morning is by setting an alarm clock, like those kind of things that may be really obvious to you isn't always the same for everybody, or they don't realize they don't have a certain resource or a certain way to organize things. And so that's such a good perspective for us to have. And so, Arely, as we begin to wrap this conversation up, one thing that I always love to have to close this out is your one thing. And it's that, people are listening and learning from you right now. and knowing that you just want one thing for them to hear. Make sure before they leave that this is the one thing from you. What is your one thing?
I would say whether you are a new administrator or, you're just one of those administrators that you're slowly losing your passion or your love for your job, maybe you're not waking up. I'm going to tell you that it's not always, a bed of roses around here. There are rough days, but I will tell you the way I get through it, and this is what I tell my teachers too, okay? There's going to be days that are rough, but I tell them we take it day by day. I think a lot of times we're like, look at it like, oh my gosh, there's still a month ahead of us, day by day. And in that day, we're not going to get overwhelmed. We're going to take on whatever is thrown at us. We're going to have good days. We're going to have rough days. But you know what? 3:30 our day is over and we're going to be okay. And I would say like the way I get through some of the rough days and the way I encourage my teachers not to burn out, on those days that they're like, I just don't know what to do. I'm like, day by day. Okay. We're going to finish today and we're going to get to start over tomorrow. And if today was absolutely horrible, we have a whole new opportunity tomorrow. So I would say that just, for new administrators, I remember being there and it can be very challenging, right? Just remembering to take it day by day. And then for those, like I said, it's not just an advice for newbies. It's for us that have been in it. And it's still challenging. I mean, the work is challenging and every single year something new arises, right? But that's just the way I live life day by day.
And I think it's such easy advice, but it's such easy to forget advice because it just feels like it was the worst day ever. I'm not meant for this. This is over. But I love what you said. It's like tomorrow is a new day. You get the opportunity to do it different, to do it better. And so I think that's wonderful for our people to hear.
Well, and I've tried the like remember your why and things like that. And I'm not saying there's not power to that, but I'm telling you, when you have a teacher that is just really struggling that day, they don't want they don't want to hear, well, remember your why, remember whatever. Sometimes you can't. You were so low in the day, and that I've just found power in that. And like, hey, it just day by day. And yeah, that's what I can offer.
I love that. Well, Arely, thank you so much for being a guest on our podcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening or watching a brand new episode. Remember, you can check out all of our past episodes on your favorite podcast network. Go leave us a review. Go leave us a rating. And if you haven't yet, make sure you sign up for the TEPSA Summer Conference coming this June. Registration is open now. We'll see you there.